Hey guys, it's Fancy, and you're watching the Good Wives Network, and I've been up all night working on stuff and talking on panels with Sweets and all of them, and somebody was kind enough to send me over Dr. Feldman's piece on Gypsy from dying to be ill. Now, I do want you guys to understand, this was written in 2018, so this was when he was in the height of, oh, Gypsy Rose is the biggest, worst case of medical Munchausen by proxy I've ever seen. Yeah, well, Dr. Feldman, I'm sorry, I beg to differ with you. And if this is what you think makes all of that make sense, you can't even get one single detail in here correct, sir. So for those of you that have been saying that he changes his opinion in this statement, he does not. And I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to explain to you how he did not change his statement. In fact, he doubles down even more and blames Dee Dee even heavier, and it makes him look like a complete and utter idiot and moron. And I'm beginning to feel like these experts in Munchausen by proxy have no fucking clue what they're talking about. And instead of naming it something that no one can frickin' figure out, all the names you've given it, why don't you just call it what you told me was the main thing that you go for, and that's medical child abuse, because that's what it is. It doesn't need to be classified as something completely different. It's just abuse. And you guys giving it all these fucking weird ass names and doing all of this and not classifying it as a disorder or any of these things, you've really fucked the pooch here. I can't even believe that you guys have done this. This is completely ridiculous, and I intend to debunk all of you. And I think there's other cases that you fucked up really bad. Just remember, Mike, you're the one that told me that Tarrant County gets more convictions than anyone else because you use the right terminology, and I intend to look at all of those cases. Don't you worry. All right, so let me read this to you guys. And if I don't get through all of this, obviously there'll be a part 2 or 3 or whatever. So here, let's try to read this. Okay, so it's 5 pages long. It starts off with one of the most high prolific cases of medical abuse to hit the media in recent years was that of Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her mother, Claudinia Dee Dee Blanchard, who was jabbed to death in 2015. Gypsy's story shows how teenagers who are medically abused may develop something akin to the Stockholm Syndrome. And I can guarantee you that is not what Gypsy Rose frickin' came up with. No, no, no. Protecting their tormentors from the medical and social service personnel who offer the only hope of rescue. When did Gypsy Rose do any of that? So Gypsy was born before her parents divorced. And when Gypsy was 3 months old, Dee Dee became adamant that her daughter was suffering with sleep apnea. According to Gypsy's father, Rod, the apnea turned into an obsession, and soon Dee Dee was telling people that Gypsy was gravely ill. Muscular dystrophy, epilepsy, asthma, brain damage, developmental delay. She had it all. These statements were utterly baseless, but Dee Dee was a convincing liar. In search of a formal diagnosis, Dee Dee took young Gypsy to different hospitals in the state of Missouri, except that she wasn't a young Gypsy in Missouri, Dr. Feldman. She was 15 years old when they moved there, 17 when they got her house in Springfield, and at 18 years old, sir, she was signing her own documents. But you don't care about that, right? Wait for it. Personal medical history, right, Mike? Right, Mr. Weber? Yeah, I've got that personal medical history. Do you? No? Then don't tell me somebody has something when you never did any fucking research. Well, let's keep going. So these statements were utterly baseless, but Dee Dee was a convincing liar. In search of a formal diagnosis, Dee Dee took young Gypsy to different hospitals in the state of Missouri. Nope. No, she didn't. Rod left her soon after she went to Missouri when Gypsy was 15 years old. See, you can't even get your basic facts right here, dude. You make no damn sense. Although Dee Dee announced on social media that Rod had abandoned his family, and was a rug addict to boot, he did continue to pay money into an account every month to assist with Gypsy's medical bills. No, he didn't. He paid back child support, sir, because he was thousands of dollars in the arrears when she died. Do you understand? You have all the basic facts completely wrong because the only person you got your facts was from the people trying to sell you a lie so that you would back up their lies so they could all profit from the murder of an innocent woman. Asshole. There's a word, Dr. Feldman. Let me continue on. Little did Rod know that he was financing his daughter's misery. Wow. Dee Dee had misery, the trips to Disney and the open ocean and all the camps and her comic books and all of those things. You're right. He was absolutely financing his daughter's misery. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, I'm so completely I don't know anything about this case apparently, right? No. Dee Dee had Gypsy fitted with a feeding tube and encouraged her to use an oxygen tank on a near consistent basis, except that all the oxygen tanks out there were full. So she wasn't fucking using it. I don't know. She shaved Gypsy's hair. No, we don't have any evidence of that. Telling her that it was going to fall out anyway. Nope, that's just Gypsy's tale because she had cancer. Dr. Feldman, did you look in the records and find that she possibly has acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which is linked to the 1q21.1 microdeletion that she has, and it's caused by anemia? Did you know that? Did you know she had anemia? Because I did. But, hey, who am I? I'm just the one with the medical records. Funny how I actually looked at the medical records and you didn't. You're the expert, right? Not me, right? Interesting. All right, let's keep going. So, Gypsy could support her own weight. That's funny, considering that the doctor said that. But Dee Dee demanded she used a wheelchair for her muscular dystrophy, and this went on for years. Or could it be that somebody at 6 years old decided that Mama would only love her if she was sick and never told anyone else that she could walk? Did you think about that? No? Okay. So Dee Dee managed to hide the truth of her daughter's infirmity by frequently relocating, and altering the spelling of Gypsy's name and her birth date. Also, the steps would confuse anyone who reviewed her medical records. No, they wouldn't. Not with anybody with a brain. Gypsy was also homeschooled and seen by tutors and governed by schools, sir. On one occasion, a pediatric neurologist who had evaluated Gypsy noted in his documentation, and this is the only time it's ever there, and this is how they built the whole damn case, there's a strong possibility of Munchausen by proxy. However, you left out the second part of that sentence. Possibly conditions caused by an unknown etiology. And guess what that unknown etiology was, Mr. Mark Feldman? Dr. Feldman. It was the discovery of a brand new chromosome disorder in 2008 called the 1q21.1 microdeletion. Perhaps you should look that up before you talk about this case ever again, because it's quite crucial to the case. And you guys have missed the smoking pew-pew, okay? You've missed the smoking pew-pew. So let's see. Let's keep going. Unfortunately, he never made a report to Child Protective Services, and we've all talked about why that didn't happen. And the abuse continued with other doctors medicating or even operating on Gypsy. Notice he gives no actual details about any of her medical records and what she actually had done, because guess what? He doesn't know. That's so funny that he doesn't know, and it's the worst case of Munchausen by proxy he's ever seen, except he never saw it, so there's that. All right, we're going to catch up in the next one. Have a good one from the Good Wise, serving up true crime one dish at a time. Bye, guys. Catch part 2.